Okay, welcome back. We have these beautiful bastards here. Walt, number 80. Say hello.
Can't use my government name, man. It's
All right,
80.
it's
Detective 80.
Mr. 80. And
Mr. 80.
we have the Greek freak, Mr. Ioannidis.
You didn't use my government name, Mr. 69.
Dude, your country isn't even it's not even gonna have a government soon. Greece.
Guy, did this guy just say 69? I thought, is that a Christian joke?
No, that's my number.
Man, I don't know, man. I think we're starting to corrupt this man.
All right, so there's a number of topics available for tonight. A number of them athletically related, and other ones that are more to do with one President Donald John Trump, with NATO, of course. Gentlemen, what's really pressing? I know over you number 80, you're dealing with a major drought over in LA, and you also had LeBron James sign with your local basketball club, the Los Angeles Lakers. What's the mood over there in California now that LBJ is in town?
You know what's crazy? As soon as he signed, that same week we have a heat wave going on right now. That's why the back of the room is super hot. The lights are off and everything because everything is super hot in here. I just got the fan blowing, but on Friday it was like 112. It's like Nevada weather. But other than that, LeBron James coming to LA was cool. We got some free Blaze pizza yesterday, so that's cool. That's always good.
What's that?
What's up?
What's Blaze? What?
Blaze Pizza.
Oh, I forgot that he has that business.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
We got free Blaze Pizza, so that was cool. Other than that, there's two type of people out there. There's people that hate the move because they hate LeBron James, and there's people out there that like the move and they think that it's instantly guaranteed us a championship. And then you have me, who's like, whatever. It just depends on who we surround him with. I mean, LeBron James by himself is not guaranteeing us a spot in the finals because we still got to get to Golden State. We still got to get to Houston. And there's a lot of other really good teams in the West, especially with Oklahoma about to deal Carmelo Anthony or do something with him.
Okay, there was that story yesterday that we talked about with the mural, which we'll get to. But what is your perception? Do you think it's kind of like the same as when A-Rod went to the Yankees and people were like, "Oh, I'm a Jeter fan." You know, people are like, "Oh, we're Laker fans like the Lakers before LeBron." Is that type of the attitude that you're seeing?
The attitude that I'm seeing is this. Most Laker fans are diehard Laker fans. And then you have the ones that are like wishy-washy Laker fans. And those are Golden State fans now. And then you have LeBron James fans who will fucking follow this guy wherever he goes. He can sign to the fucking Magics and they will support the hell out of that team because they're LeBron James followers. So we have to deal with them, and they're just, his fan base is just, the people that just like him are very annoying. They're just like the people that follow Tom Brady. Like, I can't stand them.
You said what?
Yes, dude. Tom Brady's fans are annoying, bro. If the ones that are just diehard Brady fans, like Brady's a GOAT, they brag about that guy, bro. Honest question: do you think Tom Brady would have won that many rings without his coach?
I think he would have won 4 rings instead of 5 without his coach.
This guy's full of shit. This is the biggest. What a bunch of fucking bullshit. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think Tom Brady would have won without Bill Belichick's defense.
Exactly. That dude would have had donuts.
He would have won like one Super Bowl, maybe.
I don't even.
He would have had a career. He would have had a career like Drew Brees, which is good, but you know.
Would he have even started? Would he have even become the person that he is today? Like, would he have been even noticed, or would he have been one of them good quarterbacks that just kind of got pushed to the side because there was better quarterbacks in front of him? Because wasn't he a very late pick?
He was. But he worked so hard that he was so tough that he became the GOAT, literally. It's all about hard work.
It's not work when you also have Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll grant to you that he's like an amazing quarterback, but he's not amazing enough that the Patriots were solely dependent on Tom Brady to win championships. I mean, let's be real. If Jimmy Garoppolo had been starting in some of those Super Bowls, I think that Belichick would have found a way to win.
Well, Garoppolo is also really good. That's a bad analogy. But Brady is, man, that guy is solid. He's so good.
That's not the argument, though.
I think
That.
he's the best of all time. I would say Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana.
Can you throw Brady on any team and he'll produce the
You
same?
could have him on the Browns and they'd win the Super Bowl.
Fuck out of here.
Okay, this guy is banned for the next 10 minutes.
Oh, I forgot you're.
Yeah, fuck the Browns.
Nah, come on, man. Nothing. And
if Tom Brady played for the Browns, he would have male pattern baldness the next day after he signed, and he would develop a beer gut, and Giselle would leave him for, she would come out as a lesbian, and that's what happens when you join the Browns. Basically, your entire life falls apart.
In the 6th round of the 2000 NFL draft, the Browns had a chance to draft Tom Brady, and they drafted Spurgeon Wynn instead. Just remember that.
Yeah, because it's the Browns.
The Browns can draft Satan as a quarterback and Jesus as a wide receiver, and they would still lose. They're garbage. Sorry.
Yeah, Satan always loses in the end.
I mean, you had Jesus on your side, too, and he still would have lost. That's why I threw him in there.
All right, I see here, this is from CBS Sports. It says the LeBron James mural was erased by the original artist after another case of vandalism. He
erased the whole thing?
Yeah, it says the much discussed LA mural featuring LeBron James in an LA Lakers uniform is no more. And this thing actually is smaller than I thought it was. One of the artists who originally painted the mural has undone his work this week, painting over the artwork which was located on the side of a barbecue restaurant in Venice, California. The mural created by the way, if you're looking at this photo, this property probably costs $750,000 to buy in California or something. The mural created by Jonas Never and another artist named Menzo depicted LeBron in his new digs along with the words "King of LA." I think that's what did it.
That's what fucked it up.
Yeah.
That's what did it. No, you cannot you can't come to LA and just be fresh off the plane and fresh on the team. No games in. There, we haven't even seen how you play and turn around and somebody already W the King of LA, especially with as many Laker greats as there are. Can't do that, man. That's what did it. And I guarantee you the guy that did it was white. We could put money on this. The guy that vandalized it, guarantee you the man was white.
Oh, now it started becoming a racial issue. Jeez.
No,
I wonder why people have such a negative view of Los Angeles.
No, it's not even that. Where did you say the mural was located? Because at first I swore exactly, Venice. A bunch of white people. It's about a bunch of white homeless people in Venice.
Wait, Venice is mostly white?
Venice is mostly white.
I think Venice is where all the bodybuilders live, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I thought it was all Hispanic.
Dude, there's a bunch of rich, white, homeless. There's some rich kids that are homeless in Venice. I swear, you go down the strip, it's the pier. There's a bunch of these kids, these little white kids, and they're just they're always begging for money for to buy weed and shit. But these kids come from some fucking high class backgrounds, and they're just rebelling, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. It seems like some shit that you would see in a fucking movie, a stereotypical role, but it really happens in Venice. Come to LA, Ramon, and take a trip down Venice, and we'll go talk to some poor white kids that are homeless.
LA is paradise.
It looks like the mural painter it appears like it was a white guy. So I think.
Oh, no. I'm telling you, Venice is majority white, and then on top of that, they said I think I gotta look it up, but they said that something about somebody bet the guy told him they'll give him $300 to vandalize it again or some shit.
Right, but this is something. I'll tell you what. This episode of the LeBron thing is that's one of the reasons a lot of people in the rest of America kind of hate California, because if let's say LeBron James had signed with Atlanta Hawks, I don't think people in Atlanta would react this way to some dude's mural or something. Or if you had signed with Charlotte, what?
I mean, because Atlanta's garbage, and like, think about it. How many?
Atlanta is garbage.
Look, how many greats came out of Atlanta? Do they have as
Atlanta's
many?
an awesome
Do they
place,
have
dude.
as? Do they have as many greats as the Lakers? The thing is,
There's John
LeBron
Rocker.
James. Yeah, no, I mean they got some people. I know they got some people. I
They
can't
got
think.
Julio Jones.
Who?
Okay, we
Lolo
talking.
Jones.
We talking basketball, bro.
Oh,
I mean, I know they got fucking what's his name? He was like a power forward or some shit. But anyway,
No, but
to the
let's
point.
let's say he would have signed with the team. I don't know, the Knicks. If he would have, maybe the Knicks, somebody would have done something. But when he went to Miami, nobody
No,
behaved this
look,
way.
hey, if he would have did it, if he would have signed to the Knicks, I guarantee you, if somebody would have put a mural up, they would have erased that shit too. They fucking vandalized Prodigy's mural in New York, and that he's like a legend out there, the rapper.
Yeah, but that's not
People
like a
don't know.
good thing. Like people should appreciate. I mean, I'm not like the biggest LeBron James fan, but this seems like the LA fan base is like really entitled.
No, it's just all it takes is one hater. That's it, just one fucking hater with
probably had some
a bad
angry
mentality.
Cavaliers fans
But it
live
looks like
there
this
and-
happened 2 times. You can't assume it was the same guy both times.
The Prodigy shit happened 2 times. They
Okay,
vandalized.
but
They vandalized Prodigy's mural. They fixed it up, and then they did it again, and then they said, "Forget it. We're just going to get rid of it." So they got rid of it. So I mean, I'm just saying, all it takes is one hater. Like LeBron James has enough haters. Let's be real. I give the man credit. He's a very great player, but he has a lot of bitch-made tendencies. Meaning, oh, I fucking hurt my calf or what? What did he say? He had cramps and he had to get carried off the court. It's just a lot of people in LA. When you come to LA, a lot of people don't respect people that don't have that killer mentality. If you don't have that killer mentality, a lot of people will not respect you in LA, especially in sports. So if you don't have that, like what Kobe calls it, Mamba mentality, you know that, oh, I'm gonna take over a game and I'm gonna do it. Like LeBron James kind of showed that like this season because he literally had nobody playing with him. Well, he had a team, but the thing about it is he didn't trust them. But the point is, once you get labeled soft and weak and shit like that, that's gonna stay with you for a while. And a lot of people in LA haven't got over it. And all it takes is one hater or a hater that got money that's gonna pay some like dude that wants to buy weed or fucking crackhead or something. Just go spray paint some shit and they'll do it.
Alex, what's your opinion on that? Do you think it's like kind of fucked up that people? I mean, I'm not like when LeBron played here, I was like people are like on his cock all day long here in Cleveland,
Exactly.
and I was like, shut up. I mean, it's like you completely depend on him for the fortunes of your team, but this is like the opposite side of the spectrum. Like the Lakers fans should be at least happy that they got somebody who makes their team relevant again. What's your opinion?
I'm just like, I just think, I don't know, you compare it to Atlanta, but Atlanta doesn't really have any great sports teams. LA has really passionate fans that
You have the
have
Braves.
really. Yeah, I guess that's about it. The Falcons never win anything, and they choke in the Super Bowl. The Hawks never do anything. So it's like it doesn't really like people aren't fired up. Like I don't go to Atlanta and see a lot of Hawks fans. The biggest fans I see are Falcons ones actually, and their team isn't even that good. But like, yeah, in LA they have like that's the team of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like people there.
You pick the majority of cities in the NBA. If LeBron James had went to New Orleans, if he would have gone to Dallas, if he had gone to Detroit, if he had gone to Chicago, nobody would have done like this type of bullshit to his. Maybe in Chicago, like some hardcore Jordan fans.
I'm telling you,
But-
any
No,
big
Chicago
market,
definitely, maybe in Dallas too, because the
any
Mavericks.
big market team, any city with a big market, it probably would have got done in. How about that?
I
agree.
think you're
on that?
exaggerating it. I think this is really more of an LA thing, dude.
How they would?
And I think you have some angry Cavaliers fan in LA that just went and did something crazy.
That's
LeBron-
actually factually not true.
No, there are some very big LeBron dick riders in LA. Like, and I remember we went to BJ's and fucking when the Warriors and the Cavs were playing the first year for the playoffs. There was this dude there that was like supposedly, I think he was a LeBron fan, but he swear to God he was a Cleveland fan. And this dude was in there talking so much shit. And when they lost and Andre Iguodala got the fucking the MVP, This dude was like, he's a fucking bum. Get this fucking bum out of here. He's a fucking bum. And he's like arguing with people in like at the bar. And I'm just sitting there watching this dude from the back. I'm like, this dude is tripping. Like,
in favor of LeBron or against him?
In favor. He was like really like, he had the 23, he had the Cavalier jersey on, he was all suited and booted, he had his little Cavs hat. He was serious. He was in there talking so much shit throughout the whole game. And when they lost, he fucking lost and started cussing people out. And I thought this dude was going to get in a fight with somebody. So I stuck around, I wanted to scream out World Star, but it didn't happen.
Ryu Shiska in the chat says, when LeBron James started to be called a star, I stopped watching basketball because at that point I knew basketball had reached a new low. I don't think so. I think he's an amazing talent, in terms of athletics, and he does have like a very good instinct for not just, getting, scoring, but also giving assists and rebounds and all that. He's a great all-around player. But really, like the amount of, like, I think people like LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony and now Curry, they really have ruined the NBA and made it into a sport that's more about, or a league that's more about individual players and their contracts as opposed to the actual teams. When I was maybe that does make me old school at this point, but when I was a kid, if you were watching Reggie Miller play the Knicks, you did not see them fraternizing after the game and, saying hi and basically, circle jerking each other and going out and shopping for purses like LeBron James and Kevin Durant do, which is it's just like a disgrace in my mind. That's me. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if Alex and number 80 agree with me, but what do you guys think?
On that point. Yeah, it's all about players and their contracts. If you know how Bill Belichick runs his team, it's like all about the team and no specific player. It's the opposite of that in the NBA.
Hold on, y'all really think it's about these contracts? Because I don't. I think it's about people trying to retire. Because now I feel like the league is more about ring chasing and what's the quickest way to get to a ring.
It's part of the same. It's part of the same phenomenon, though. That's the same idea.
Well, sort of, because
how can KD get a ring? How can LeBron get a ring? Like, that's the mentality they have.
When I hear contracts, I'm thinking like, oh, where's the best way? Like, where can I go to get the most money? Like what Trevor Ariza did. Trevor Ariza don't give a shit about rings. He went to Phoenix and they gave him $14 million for like 1 year, which is stupid as shit, but whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, that's chasing contracts. Or how Biombo went to fucking the Magics and got like 11 million a season. Like that's chasing money to me. Like that's chasing a contract. I think now people are leaving money on the table and actually taking shorter contracts to make these super teams. And I mean, as funny as it sounds, like, I honestly think it's killing the league, because there's no way in hell that a team with a starting lineup that the Golden State Warriors have, like if DeMarcus Cousins come back and they have that starting lineup, man, that shit is going to be boring as fuck no matter who the hell is going to be in the finals. I don't even think I'll even watch that shit. I didn't even barely watch the finals this year. And if they make it to the finals with DeMarcus Cousins and they play against somebody like Boston, oh, fuck it. I'm definitely tuning out because they're winning.
Right. The finals is going to be a joke next year. I don't think it's even a question.
Unless it's going to be like that Dallas and Miami game when fucking Dallas upset Miami. That was a good game.
Right, but Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas team was very well coached that 1 year and everything, and that was when there was a little more even-handedness because the Heat had, the Heat were a super team. There is no super team in the East this year. Let's say that year.
Boston has a super team, bro. Like, you got to look at their team is pretty well put together. Like, their starting five is solid as shit. Like, I think like maybe 4 out of the 5 are like, well, 3 of them are all-stars for sure. And then you have a potential all-star in Tatum. That's like, that to me, that's money, because you got Gordon, you got Irvin, you have Hayward, Tatum, and whoever the fuck else. And then they got probably going to start Baines at the center or some shit. That's three all-stars.
Larry Gerke says, do not come to LA without a hepatitis vaccination. Bring a fucking flamethrower, in fact. This brings up maybe a little side point. So the Lakers are like a very high profile team, of course, in the NBA. You have the Dodgers who attract like massive contracts in baseball. Of course, there's football. The Rams are doing very well after coming back. But do you think that this whole obsession with celebrity and now sports celebrity, do you think it kind of and then the rest of LA is kind of a teeming dump of poverty and drug addiction. So do you think it kind of like it shows that LA is kind of two or possibly more different worlds and cultures? 80 or Alex,
You know what?
either one of you.
You know what? Let Alex go because I feel like I hasn't talked a lot.
Yeah, Alex, what's your opinion on that?
Do you think do I think LA is basically a crap pool?
Well, I mean, you have the Dodgers. They have massive multi-million-dollar. Like, so I remember when Darvish was there, he had like I think a $200 million contract, and now you have LeBron James. You have the whole Lonzo Ball circus, which me and 80 have argued about offline.
His dad is the best businessman on the planet. I'll just leave that about Lonzo Ball.
So that's
his shit's backfiring though.
Yeah, but that's one side of LA. Yeah, and then the actual city of LA is I mean, the Staples Center is in Inglewood, right?
No,
it's
downtown.
It is downtown.
Yeah. No, the Rams Stadium is going to be in Inglewood.
Did they used to have a place in Inglewood? Their old arena. Was that?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what you're talking about. It used to be at the Forum.
Yeah, the LA Forum. So, but lots of parts of LA are just total like holes with tons of like homeless people, but they're spending like all this money to bring these high profile athletes there, and the city just continues to turn into like it's unaffordable for a lot of middle class people, and it's very difficult to run a business there. So does LeBron coming to LA in any way improve the city's self-esteem, or is it just a bunch of crap, like basically polishing another turd?
I mean, look, LA's homeless problem is there because it doesn't have anything to do with LeBron, but I just think it'll boost their sports teams and fans. That's about it. I don't think it'll have any socioeconomic difference.
Well, that's what. Look, I mean, the reason I'm saying that is because people here were complaining that losing LeBron James kind of is an economic hit to the city, and I'm like, if you're depending on the performance of one, 33-year-old dude who plays basketball in order to keep your city relevant, then our city is pretty much it's a hole, which it is. But in any case, LA, they bring him there, and people are like, "Oh, it's going to be a big boost to the local LA, the city's image or whatever." I'm like, they have plenty of good shit in LA already. I mean, they have the Dodgers who have won a lot of. I mean, they've done pretty well lately. They still have Kershaw. They have Todd Gurley and Jared Goff and a very good defense on the Rams. And they have
a better one now.
What's that?
Even better one now.
There are a lot of people who don't care about sports though, too. So like to them, what does it matter? LA is also extremely like diverse, both racially and ideologically and culturally and everything. So it's like to us as Americans, we love sports, but like keep in mind a bunch of like immigrants there couldn't care less about some sports. To a lot of the Latinos, most of them, they watch soccer. They don't care about American.
Bro, that's bullshit. They follow the Dodgers like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they love the Dodgers.
Yeah,
they love the Dodgers. And they hate Angel fans.
Nobody. What I'm trying to say is they don't care that much about football or basketball, especially American football. It's just different. Like you can't put it. It's not a one size fits all thing. To some people, it means the world. To others, it doesn't.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like sports is a big culture in LA. And the thing I was trying to say earlier was that LeBron is what I'm calling an instant money maker. Wherever he goes, they're going to see a huge financial uptick in whatever sports revenue that comes to that city. I'll give you the perfect example. Preseason tickets in LA, they were cheap as shit. Now LeBron James is here. That shit flew up at least $100, and those is for cheap seats, like all the way in the back. And the ticket prices already went up, so they're already about to see financial output from their investment already. You know, they gave that dude what 147 million or 67 or somewhere around there.
I think it was
164,
151 million.
somewhere around there. But and then the thing is, LA, like I said earlier, the mentality is LA is a big sports oriented. You talk to a lot of these kids, man. Even though I disagree with it, and I rather than pursue other things, a lot of these kids want to pursue sports because it's a big culture out here. So when you nab somebody like LeBron James, like LA is known as this place that attracts stars, I guess. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's the
we're a
whole
big market.
problem though, that LA, which is a city with like fuckloads of problems in terms of being, regular people cannot afford to move to LA in this day and age and live. And I think San Francisco for some reason is even worse. Yeah, but why are people like? Yes, the Lakers ticket sales are going nuts. I mean, nobody's contesting that. It's good for the LA Lakers. It's good for the Staples Center. But I mean, the Clippers ticket prices are probably collapsing because nobody cares about them anymore. So
That's true.
They still lose something. I don't think that there's any net gain for the city from this. It's really, and I think we'll move on to a different topic after this. We're really seeing with cities like that this over focus on professional sports. I think in eventually people are going to realize that. I hope people are going to realize that it's a huge charade, and really the NBA as a whole is on a downturn. I did a stream earlier this week, a solo stream where I kind of broke down how their ratings have gone down since 1998 when Jordan retired the second time. Their regular season ratings have never recovered.
My bad. Yo, my bad.
Wait, what happened? Oh, you dropped off?
Yeah, I dropped off by accident. My bad.
So I think we'll move on. One more sports story, unless you guys have something else to talk about. What the fuck? How did this go to a bit? This was about Shady McCoy. LaShawn McCoy was arrested for basically spousal abuse. Okay, and I haven't read all the details about it, but this reminds me to a great deal of the Ezekiel Elliott allegations from probably like a year and a half ago that simply could not be proven. And, we talked about a lot in the fall concerning, Russiagate and Roy Moore and Tavis Smiley, the presumption of innocence. At the same time, there was the whole Ray Rice affair. What do you guys think is the appropriate response when the NBA is suspecting that one of its, multi-million-dollar athletes is accused of a crime?
Yeah.
You said the NBA or we talking NFL?
NFL.
Yeah, I think. Well, again, it's an innocent until proven guilty thing, and you need to wait and see what happens. But knowing Roger Goodell, he'll suspend him no matter what, like he did to Ezekiel Elliott.
I think the same thing. Like, you got to prove it first. You got to prove that that he actually did these things. Because I read something about a home invasion or something, and the perp beat the victim, something like that. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with it. That's just the small details that I've seen. So I mean, I could be wrong.
Right, and this is the update from 7 p.m. on ESPN. Buffalo Bills running back LaShawn McCoy has hired a prominent Atlanta defense attorney amid a police investigation into a home invasion that sent his former girlfriend to the hospital after she was allegedly beaten and robbed of jewelry. So let me see here. Yeah, so that kind of dovetails with what AD just said. The Office of Defense Attorney John Samuel confirmed for ESPN and ABC News on Wednesday morning that it was representing McCoy, but had not yet released a statement about the case as of Wednesday afternoon. Samuel has represented several high-profile clients, including serving as part of the defense team for former Baltimore Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis. We discussed Ray Lewis earlier this week, remember, 80?
Yeah.
When he was charged with murder in 2000. The charges were later dropped. McCoy owns a house in the Atlanta suburb of Milton, where his former girlfriend Delicia Cordon was living. Milton police on Wednesday released a redacted version of their report of Tuesday's incident at the home that listed crimes of armed robbery, aggravated assault with a firearm, residential burglary without force, and aggravated battery. Police have not named any suspects. A spokesperson for the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney's Office declined to comment on the case Wednesday. McCoy, who has been training in Miami this summer, denied accusations made on social media Tuesday by a friend of the victim that he was responsible for her injuries. He said he has not had direct contact with her in months. The NFL said in a statement Tuesday it was reviewing the matter. The Bills released a statement Tuesday saying they were in contact with McCoy and the NFL and were continuing to gather information. The investigation by police and the league comes as the Bills prepare to report to training camp, blah, blah, blah. The same crap all over the place. Well, so when's the appropriate time to respond to this stuff? Let's see. When was this alleged to have occurred? It says here,
I think it was the day before the report, the picture leaked.
The day before what?
The picture leaked. The picture of her, like the injuries that she had, the day that leaked. I heard it was the day before.
Yeah, I think this might turn out to be some bullshit. I mean, I don't want to say that people shouldn't complain about NFL stars attacking people, because it has happened. Like Ray McDonald of the 49ers, who was kind of a scumbag and never, I think it was like suspended for like 2 games. It's like the fucking Niners never get hit for anything. What's that? Alex, did you say something?
Cut and lost his job. The NFL didn't necessarily take that much action.
Did he? So he did get cut.
Yeah, he's a free agent now. They released him. So they released him. Then I think the Bears signed him, and then they released him after he got into more trouble.
Yeah, and then there was Greg Hardy with the Cowboys, but I think in this case there was never any legal procedure that ended up happening. I have here a nice comment from earlier. Larry Gerke says a Malibu chicken is a dead seagull. Can you attest to that, number 80?
Malibu chicken? That's funny. I've never even.
You've never been to Malibu? Is that kind of like further north?
I've been to Malibu. I went to Malibu for the chili cook-off, which I thought only existed on The Simpsons. But yeah, they used to have a chili cook-off in Malibu every year, so we would just go because my sister worked at a nonprofit that helped give homeless people like mental care and treatment. So her job set up at the fair, and we would go there every year to just taste chili and just chill and get on little rides and eat shaved ice or whatever. But I've never actually been to like Malibu Beach. Like I should. I live in LA, but it never really was like one of the things like, oh shit, I should go to Malibu. Once you go to Venice and you walk Venice and see how shitty Venice is, you're like, do I really want to go any further?
So do you guys have any more, like, I think at this point it could be that this story ends up being like complete nonsense.
What, do you think she threw herself down the stairs?
I don't know. I think maybe somebody else like kind of tried to squeeze her for money. And she tried, the only thing she could pull out of her ass was that LaShawn McCoy. I mean, I don't even know LaShawn McCoy that well. I know that he usually just, when reporters ask him questions, like other athletes, like they talk about like nonsense. He basically just says what he thinks. He's like, I don't fucking care about Chip Kelly. The guy was an idiot. Like I remember him for that mainly from his time in Philly. And after he got kicked out of Philly. So I think at this point, I believe him a little more than I believe whoever this accuser is.
Yeah. And that's crazy because doesn't CTE cause aggression?
It does, but LaShawn McCoy, I don't know if he's had many
No, I'm just
concussions.
saying, like, it's just weird. Like when you hear this shit, this is like, because I had a funny discussion with somebody over Chris Benoit, and me and my famous Facebook trolling. Yeah, the wrestler. So me and my famous Facebook trolling, that shit got me blocked and prevented, but to respond. But it was like this weird thing where I was trying to explain to him that because the dude was saying that Chris Benoit killed his wife because of steroids, and I was like, my dude, it was probably CTE. The dude had a fucked up brain. And he was like, nah, no, he didn't. His brain was fine. And I'm like, the dude had a fucking flying headbutt as a special move. Like, that was his shit, was hitting his face against the canvas. He even jumped off of a cage and hit his face on the mat. Like, the dude didn't care. And he was like, no, he didn't. So he ended up getting pissed off and blocking me. But yeah.
The one thing to remember, though, is the story of Brian Banks in situations like this, who ironically played for the Falcons very briefly. But they accused him of sexual assault, similar story, and she lied, and he ended up going to jail. But then he got her. I think he went to jail. He got into serious trouble with ruined his career, and then he carried a wire one day, and then got her to admit that she made it up, and then exposed her.
You're talking about Brian Banks?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the photo. Pinochet wanted me to show on screen the alleged abuse results, and you can see here a number of contusions below the eye, as well as, obviously, you see the blood.
You have to give a warning first, man. Come on,
what?
You're supposed to be a professional by now.
What?
You're supposed to give a parental warning. Come on, man.
So anyway, I still don't. I mean, you still have to prove LaShawn McCoy did that. I know that it's if these injuries are real. Again, I'm not saying they're not. You still have to prove that LaShawn McCoy did it. So
exactly.
Me and 80 argue a lot about this. I don't know if I've ever argued with Alex about criminal justice, but you can't just accuse some dude of something without any proof, especially if it's like a violent offense, and I know a lot of these NFL stars are able to afford high-powered attorneys, but if you have a high-powered attorney, I think I would never complain, because I think a lot of like offenders that get screwed by the criminal justice system that maybe are not guilty. The only reason they end up pleading guilty is because they don't have like good legal representation. They don't have somebody who would be willing to litigate the case on their behalf.
Like public defenders.
Right, like public defenders, exactly.
Public defenders are very shitty, by the way.
What's that, Alex?
If I ever go to law school, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Man, you're a man with many hats, man. You gotta find a career path and, man, just like stick to it.
Man, I may just flip a coin at this point. It's getting annoying.
I thought you were gonna start like a damn juice bar in Compton.
I thought about it. That's an idea. It'd be in Watts, actually.
He's gonna call it Christ Cocktail.
I'm gonna call it Reverend's Refreshments.
Oh yeah, whatever. Hey, you should ask the comment section what sounds better, Reverend's Refreshments or Christ Cocktails.
You get a $5 voucher.
So Reverend's Refreshments or Christ's Cocktails. Okay.
That sounds better. Vote now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put.
I was watching CRTV and I found this bar down in Alabama where they have church in it on Sunday morning, and then the family goes and drinks afterward.
In the bar?
Yeah.
Water and the wine, it's a miracle.
I don't know, man. This is Alabama.
What the hell?
That's where they marry their cousins too, so who knows?
Wow, shots fired. Nice. Now, you know what's funny? You guys had a conversation about fucking abortion, and me and Alex ended up having like a week-long discussion on this shit. It's ridiculous.
I don't remember this.
You what? And Alex, you in your live, like you guys.
Oh
yeah.
You
guys talk about Supreme Justice. the judge or whatever, and he was like saying like,
So-
oh, this person's pro-life. So
So do you guys
So
want
he's
to
a
talk
good
about the
candidate.
Supreme Court though? Is that or do you want to talk more about the abortion issue?
oh no, I was just bringing it. Well, whatever,
Okay,
it's
well,
whatever. Alex,
just
Yeah, I wanted
go
to
with
debate
whatever
you.
you're going to say about the abortion issue, and then we'll segue into the Supreme Court.
wait. Alex says he wants to debate me on abortion. You sure about that,
We're not
buddy?
going to do that
tired of
today. There's not
fighting
enough
it
time,
all.
dude.
Oh, maybe next time
One
when
day.
Christ cocktails open.
I got tired of
Now we're-
typing
We
it.
have a bunch of shit. Like we have a bunch of shit to hatch out, like abortions, and what was the other one? Something about religious freedom or some shit. What was it? It was
Yeah, but
something
that
about
wasn't.
religion, though.
Was that between you and Alex, or was it between like Alex and Soon, or was it between Alex and Carlos or something? I know it was Alex and somebody.
I
No,
don't
it was
remember.
me and 80.
Yeah, it was religious freedom, but I forgot about what.
Freedom.
It was about religion, but I don't remember exactly what. It was like
I think we were talking. Was it about maybe about that gay cake case or whatever?
I mean, we had tons of conversations about gay cake, about like fucking how
The color
bacon
of
should
bacon.
be divorced. Well, what were you doing? What do you want to do, Ramon? Where are we going with this? You said you wanted to
So
talk
I'll
about
tell you what.
Donald Trump.
Anyone in the audience?
I'll try
have
to
feedback?
frame the topic if you guys want to kind of feed off of my take on this. So it says here Joy Behar was, and I could probably play the video, but you guys couldn't hear the audio because only the audience can, only me and the audience. So, but Joy Behar said, "I'll be dead, but many people will still need abortions over this Kavanaugh pick," and it's like, bitch, nobody cares about what happened with you. You're Joy Behar. You're just some old like Italian yenta from Brooklyn or Queens or whatever. The rest of the country has. We see your hat, number 80. That's the first purge. Yeah, but I mean, the first purge. He's bringing that up. You can make an equal argument that from what I heard, that the more of a theme against poor people, but look, I understand. I believe that people should be able to legally have an abortion without going to jail, but that doesn't mean that we have to literally pay fucking companies and nonprofits money in order to keep their operations afloat, like they do with Planned Parenthood. I think Planned
I thought they
Parenthood might
could
even
use-
have a monopoly on that whole government-funded issue. So.
Is there some sort of loophole or something? Because I thought government money couldn't be used for abortions.
No, but they can use it for other operations, so they just pretend that they're using it for stuff that's not related to abortion.
Yeah, they use it for other operations and then use their money for other operations to perform abortions. It's just stupid.
What? So what do you mean? They're saying, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to do a mammogram today." All right.
Well, from what I heard, they don't even do mammograms at the majority of Parenthood clinics.
There's a really good video about that. I know.
This
for
guy.
Christ's sakes.
Oh my god, dude.
No, it was called like.
Do they pay you? Do they pay you? If they don't pay you, you need to talk to them about financial compensation. Because I swear, you drop their shit in fence. You drop their comments everywhere. You need
I wanted
find out how to
I
get
wanted to say
compensated.
though, I was driving to lunch today, and I was listening to the Prager show on the radio, and the guy was like flipping his lid. He was like going nuts. It was hilarious.
Dennis is like the best, one of my favorite people in this country. He's
When he gets angry, it's hilarious.
I love him. Like, I hate seeing all these people like worship Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is garbage. They should listen to Dennis Prager.
Ben Shapiro's a whiny little bitch, bro. I can't stand his voice.
No, he's good sometimes. He's very smart. He has a law degree from Harvard.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. You have to be careful with Ben Shapiro. He talks very fast for a reason. Sometimes he talks really fast so you don't catch the bullshit. Slow it down a little bit and listen to the guy sometimes.
He's a Harvard law graduate. He's pretty smart.
Bruh, lawyers bullshit. That's what they get paid to bullshit. Like, lawyers literally get paid to lie.
So remember that Dennis Prager, he understands the importance the Bible has in shaping our constitution. That's why
Dennis Prager tried to finesse you to buy a fucking book over dinner, didn't he?
No,
Right? Yeah, you told me. You
he
told me
was
that.
promoting it. He didn't like try to get us to buy
You
it.
told me the man said, "How did you like your spaghetti and meatballs? By the way, buy my book."
No,
But
he said
is
look,
it already was for a while like #5 on the Amazon bestseller list. So he doesn't need Alex to buy the book for it to be a success.
Bro, shut up is a good joke. You're fucking it up. Good lord.
I
See,
mean, no,
man.
I believe this actually happened, and I believe that Alex probably bought the book because Dennis Prager
No,
told him to.
it really did happen. It really
I have
did
not bought this
happen.
book yet. I would if I had time, but I have so many books I'm trying to read now.
No, the
Come
thing
on,
is,
bro.
I think that I don't know why we got into the Dennis Prager issue. You know, these abortion advocates are really like out of their fucking minds at this point. Like, I don't think we should put people in prison. I don't like people performing abortions, but people are going to get abortions. So
Exactly.
I'm not going to tell people to go to jail or, you know, you should be, you know, basically run out of town because you had an abortion. I had a friend who I used to argue with a lot because he had his girlfriend have an abortion when he was in college. And I was, no, I mean, I wasn't arguing with him about that. I was just stating my opinion that the federal government should stop funding abortion. And he's like, well, you know, a lot of us really needed this back in the day, you know, and he's like talking about how he had to get his girlfriend an abortion. I'm like, okay, you needed it. I don't need to pay for you to need it. I don't care. I don't care. Like that's it. I really don't care if other people need it. If they want to get one of these and base it and possibly like fuck up their entire reproductive system, you know, it's not. There's no reason that anybody else should have to pay for it. You know.
Well,
Um,
look, this is my take on that. One, the
oh my
never.
God, he's gonna undo all the work I did. But go ahead.
No, but two, you
Piece by
shouldn't
piece.
you shouldn't punish people for getting abortions, but you should lock up doctors who perform them. That's my.
Bro,
That
you
doesn't
told
make
me
any
last
sense,
time that
dude.
you're lying, dude. You told me last time that you should give people that give abortion like minimum sentences or some shit so they'll learn their lesson.
No, people who give abortions, like the guy who runs the clinic, not the woman.
Really? All right, look, bro. This is
No, but
all
if
I
it's a
want to say.
legal procedure, why would you throw them in jail?
It should not be a legal procedure. That's why. That's what it should be.
All right, that's where me and
Look,
Alex have a difference on this. I think that
this is my opinion.
you can't throw people in jail for I mean, it's not a good medical procedure, but it's not a medical procedure that should be celebrated like some of these morons do, like
So
Joy
tell me
Behar.
something.
Because this is the way I
Well,
look at it.
Wait,
This is the way
let
I look
AD talk about it because he hasn't talked about abortion yet.
at it. The way I look at it is this. Me, personally, I would never tell somebody that I'm cool with, or I would never tell a person I'm in a relationship that they should get an abortion. I don't believe that's an option for me personally. But whatever somebody else does is out of my hands. I cannot control somebody or tell somebody you need to do this. What you're doing is wrong. That's them. If they want to do that shit, fine. Fuck it. That's on them. I don't have no say in that. I don't care. But as Ramon was saying, even Ramon, I don't think we should be racking out a shitload of money to pay for these procedures either. You know? But at the same time, who the fuck am I to tell these people like, hey, you shouldn't do that? Like, you know, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. But at the same time, as medication and different things become more available to people, the rate is still dropping. The abortion rate is still dropping. Like motherfuckers probably pop Plan B's like candy now. You know, the availability of that, you don't have to wear fucking. A lot of people choose that instead of condoms and shit. There's a lot of little medical procedures like that little fucking, what is it called? The little bridge looking thingy.
The
You know what I'm saying?
IDU.
Yeah, the IDU. Like things like that. Those are preventing people from having to go get abortions and buying like fucking condoms every week. You know, so I say the rate's going down. I say don't fuck with it. I was actually telling Alex that if you outlaw these things, it's probably going to make it actually increase. What do you think, Ramon?
Well, yeah, I'll let Alex respond first, but I do have a response to that. For Alex, what were you going to say?
Well, let me ask you something. Should murder be legal?
All right, before you know, hold on.
Wait, hold on.
So
Look at
I do.
the hat. Look at the hat.
Okay.
All right, come on. I mean, you're gonna
Crazy.
shill for a movie that I don't even know if I want to see on my channel.
No, I'm just joking. No, because he said it's murder. Should murder be legal? And the movie they legalized murder for 12 hours.
Okay,
Oh.
so I'll respond to what 80 said, and this is something I don't think you guys know this YouTuber named Matt Christensen from Montana, whose channel is growing, but he is a liberal who has become a Trump supporter, but he's not like a conservative. He's not like his name's Matt Christensen, but I don't think he's really an evangelical or anything. He's just. So anyway, he made the whole argument that he's always believed that women should have the right to choose an abortion, but the fact of the matter is that, like 80 was talking about, a lot of alternative contraception methods have really reduced the need and urgency of abortion. Therefore, people should stop promoting abortion as kind of a lifestyle choice or like a desirable option or this virtuous thing. And Alex, stop virtue signaling with that damn. I mean, you're not even that big of a Trump fan.
I'm not. I'm writing something down.
Okay.
And he has the American shirt. You see this shit?
Wait. Let me see. What does it say on this shirt?
That says God bless America.
Anyway, so look. Yeah, it's very ironic. He has that hat on, and he's a member of the NAACP, which basically portrays Trump as like the grand wizard of the Klan or something.
Guys, you can still be conservative and want social justice. I cringe using that word, but yes.
All right, we're gonna ignore that comment. So in any case, yeah, I think you have to keep. You can't just outlaw the procedure, because there are circumstances where I do believe that people should be allowed to have an abortion. I don't think that what do you call it, elective abortion, one that's not prompted by a rape or threat to the mother. I don't think that that's a good thing at all. I think that women who do it are kind of I would agree on a moral basis that yes, I disagree with it. On a legal basis, I don't think we should be throwing people in prison, whether it's the physician or the woman who does it. But, if a doctor is licensed by the law in whatever state you live in, or, on a federal level to perform, obstetric procedures, I'm not in favor of throwing that doctor in prison. At the end of the day, most of the women who end up having an abortion do it willingly.
So this is my question, though. Again,
is this for me or him?
Either of you. In all seriousness, why should we not outlaw murder? Or why should we not outlaw murder? Like,
I told you he was going to go that route.
I am going to go that route because it's the same thing. Like, it's not a medical procedure. I wish we'd stop calling it that. You're killing the life of. You're taking away the life of a child. You're murdering it. I don't understand that. Like, how can you, like, if somebody's killing somebody else, it is appropriate for the state to intervene and say, no, you can't do that. I think.
Viability, my friend, viability.
Like, look, if somebody's going out and getting drunk, I wouldn't agree with that. But, like, I'd look at them and I'd be like, all right, dude, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll live happily ever after. But, like, if they're going to go and kill their own child, I'm going to be like, no, you can't do that. It's a different thing, because there is another party involved.
So the strategy for reducing more abortions is to tell people, to convince people not to have them. It's not to threaten them with criminal penalties for it. I don't think that really worked when abortion was illegal.
Or hellfire and brimstone.
It'll help them. It'll help them not happen as much. But I agree with 80 as well.
No, I'm telling you, Ramon. Answer me this, Ramon. If they were to ban abortions today, do you think that we would see an uptick?
No, because I think an uptick in abortions.
Yeah,
you'd see some of these idiots. There's always idiots that do things because they're banned.
Exactly.
So maybe that would happen, and I don't think that would be a reason to keep abortion. I mean, the reason to keep abortion not illegal is because there's. I mean, come on. If there are circumstances where it is needed. So, I can't for the life of me justify putting a doctor in jail, even though I don't think that a doctor should go into medical school thinking he's going to end up taking the life of any patient. But this is one of those rare instances where there is a medical basis for getting an abortion sometimes, and it's not the majority of cases. It's like a very small minority of them. Therefore, I don't believe that you should throw physicians in prison for this. What are you guys saying? Was it Alex or what's his name?
I was just
Anyways, about that.
Yeah, what were you guys saying before? Alex?
viability.
So when it comes to the whole, will the number of abortions go down and be banned? Yeah, I think it will, because you're going to put a lot of clinics out of business. So if you really want to kill your child, you're going to have to use a coat hanger or do something back alley. You're not going to just be able to go to the clinic and do this, for one. And two, I mean, like, again, I agree with 80 in the sense of let's get birth control out there as much as possible so people don't have to get to that point. And let's also make adoption easier. I'm not pro-birth, I'm pro-life. So,
Make adoption easier, but somebody has to adopt these people, these children.
yeah, like, there are so many fees to adoption. I don't like that. I wish there was a... I would need to look into it and look at how to make it easier, but I would like to make it easier.
I say you buy a ranch and then just get a bunch of adopted kids and just let them loose.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Nah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't personally agree with it, but at the same time, I'm not anyone to tell somebody else what the fuck they're gonna do with their bodies. It's whatever, that's their choice.
Yeah, I'm not either. Just with her child's body is when I hear.
The big thing that me and this guy went back and forth about was that I told him that I think that if I'm not mistaken, the government defined a human life to be like when it's viable, right? Like when it can live on its own outside of the womb, even with mechanical help.
The government defines slaves as property at one point. Just because the government defines something in one way doesn't mean we should uphold it for eternity.
Whoa.
Right, but do you believe that a woman who or a physician who deems that a woman's life is in danger from a pregnancy should go to prison if they abort it?
No, that's the only time I'm pro-choice. If the woman's life is in danger, she can choose.
Okay, what if the woman was raped by Harvey Weinstein?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Then you punish Harvey Weinstein, not the baby.
So you want her to have the kid?
Yeah, she can put up for adoption, get rid of it.
God.
So some dude is going to be walking around with Weinstein's kid, like, hey, Weinstein's kid, thanks. I'm glad that I saved you from, dying.
What about?
I don't know. I mean, there's an argument for that. I just think you shouldn't throw people in prison for this.
I have the best scenario for Alex. What if the devil was able to reincarnate himself as a human being and he impregnated a woman on Earth, and the only option was to abort that child? Would you say yes? Would you push the button?
So that actually happened in Genesis 6, I believe. It wasn't the devil itself, but the Nephilim are believed to be demons that interbred with.
Yeah. What if the father was appointed ambassador of the U.S. to Italy, and basically, his son was born, but it was switched for a jackal, and the son of a jackal, and basically the Antichrist was walking on Earth? Would you believe that abortion is permitted in that circumstance?
If you're gonna abort the Antichrist.
Yes.
No,
so
because you don't know that child is the Antichrist.
What?
No. If you
there's
knew,
signs, dude. There's the whole tattoo on his head and whatever.
The mom has the 666 on her butt cheek, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's signs. Like, there was a fucking blood sacrifice, goat's head, blood everywhere. Would you take the risk and allow that to be born into the world with the chance that it could be the devil's child?
Or have you ever read Revelation?
Bro, I don't read the Bible. I don't.
Okay,
It's
so the idea of an end times antichrist is very recent. It's not like what you're describing. You don't like the beast from the sea has
we're
been
talking
inter.
about hypotheticals, my friend. Would you or would you not? Yes or no?
No, this is irrelevant because this is never going to happen.
Bruh, it's
You don't think that the
hypothetical.
Antichrist could be born? I mean, I'm not even Christian. I'm saying such a
The
thing.
hypothetical speaking, no, I still wouldn't allow abortion because it's abortion, and you don't know what that child's potential is.
Oh, dude, you're getting the pearly gates closed in you. Then they're gonna be like, so what's his name? What's his name? The dude with the notepad up there. He's gonna
St.
look at you. He's
Peter.
gonna be like, San Peter. I was gonna call him San Pedro, but anyway, he's gonna look at you. He's gonna be like, Alex, you're the one that allowed the devil to be born on Earth. When you had an opportunity to abort his ass, you're out.
Yeah, I'd just
You're
like
gonna
to
be
say
stuck
at
in
this
limbo.
moment that the religious
I can
opinions
promise you
expressed on
that
this
it's not
show
going
are
to happen.
not those of myself or Bold Like a Leopard.
Oh,
So,
not. Oh, it's his. All right, it's his. Trust me.
Yeah, actually, Ramon told me to believe all these things.
yeah, yeah, sure.
This is
We have
we
Ryan.
are we are secretly in a
Pinochet has a
cult.
question
Yeah.
for number 80. He says he had
I'm
two
getting
questions.
fans.
Pinochet said, "How do you feel about more black babies being aborted than born?" And
Ooh.
follow-up question: Your feelings about Margaret Sanger and her desire to wipe out the black race?
Is it because I'm black? Is that why you asked me that question? I am offended. I
How
say
can he
good
tell
day,
you're
sir.
black? I mean, you're in a dark room, so
I say good day, sir. No, I'm just playing. Or Margaret Singer is the chick that actually founded Planned Parenthood, right?
yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, she wanted to find it to eradicate the black
Look,
race.
the thing is, I know that there is a lot of Planned Parenthoods in lower income communities. In my honest opinion, I don't fucking want them here for obvious reasons. But at the same time, I do realize that a lot of these facilities do not just only perform abortions. It isn't like a fucking stab them up clinic. There's a lot of clinics over here that one my sister actually used to work for that actually did perform abortions. But even according to her, it was something that was rarely even done. So the main thing that this clinic did was that they were providing medical services for STDs and STIs, and also they would provide people with protection, birth control, and other preventative measures so that they wouldn't have to get an abortion. A lot of these places are trying to prevent you from getting pregnant. They're not trying to say like, oh, you're already pregnant, so let's get rid of this shit. You know, a lot of these clinics in the area are here to prevent that from even. It's basically like I just said, it's preventing. It's trying to prevent it from happening. And for the singer chick, I haven't really went into too much detail about reading into what she about her and her whole idea. You know what's funny? The first time I actually heard about this chick was because fucking Nick Cannon brought her up in a interview, and I haven't had a chance to actually look into her. And I know Alex has brought her up as well, but I know there's like a quote or something floating around the internet about her. What is it? I know you probably know, Alex. She made some sort of statement about abortions and black people or something.
No, she believed this is a like I don't have a specific quote off the top of my head.
But it was a quote that was like misquoted, right? Or like they took like an excerpt from it.
Let me tell you what she believed. She believed that black people were like inferior to white people, and she wanted to eradicate their race. It was a very Hitler-esque idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
you say that.
That's I mean, I disagree with Margaret Sanger, and yet at the same time, I think that I think there's a difference between supporting abortion and believing that abortion should not be something where the doctor gets thrown in jail for performing abortion if there's medical circumstances that he thinks are justified. So, Margaret Sanger and everything, the whole the whole thing where she's a racist or whatever, and she's this disgusting person. I agree with you. I don't think that that's really the issue at this point. It's an issue in that Planned Parenthood is full of shit. It's an issue in that people try to promote abortion as a human right, and as if you don't support abortion, you're anti-woman, or you're pro, you're pro Christ or something. Like I'm not Christian at all, and I think that
Misogynistic.
abortion is kind of, if people turn it into this massive cause and do like this stupid Netflix clip like yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it with, or maybe it was like earlier, like Monday, Sunday or something. Michelle Wolf does that ridiculous skit where she's like, "Oh, we have to celebrate abortion. Women, if you want an abortion, you should get one." It's like, no, that's a hazardous medical procedure that could probably come back to haunt you. And that's aside from the moral implications. It's basically ridiculous the way these people are promoting it. So I think that's like, the people who are quote unquote progressive or liberal who are promoting abortion in that way, I think are doing much more work to hurt their cause than Alex is by, promoting his worldview on and his religious beliefs, which he has a right to do, but they're doing your work for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Pinochet says he doesn't like your answer, 80. So I don't know what you did, but
hey, fuck it. I mean, you're not always gonna get what you want, brother. Sorry.
So enough about the abortion issue. Trump went to NATO today and he said that Russia is basically in charge of Germany with their natural gas, which I thought was hilarious. Basically going to the summit and just, talking mad shit about them. And you can see his ambassador, and I don't think you guys can hear it, but, oh man,
even with those confrontational moments, President.
So his ambassador is like sitting right next to him.
Deal between
his
Germany
ambassador
and
to
Russia.
NATO. We're not going to play the clip. And she's just like looking like she'd rather like die at that moment because he's basically like breaking all of the furniture in the house. It's like she invited him into their house and he basically took a dump on their porch or something. What's your reaction to that news on NATO? If you guys got a chance to look at it, I was out. I was busy the most of the day, so I didn't get to focus on it. But what I have heard, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that he's finally putting NATO in their place. And, you told me I wasn't much of a Trump supporter, and I was a bit insulted because lately I have fallen in love with this president. He has become the Tom Brady of presidents. He's the GOAT. So
nice trolling. You've learned something.
That does not comport with your previous views. So you must have changed some of your attitudes.
You're learning.
At this point, I would vote for Trump over Kasich. That's how effective he's been. But
fucking totally screwed you, man. What have we done to you?
Nah, but look, he's put them in their place. We pay weight. The idea of NATO was like, hey, we just ended World War II and destroyed the entire German army, so we're going to protect Europe from the communists. Like, that was the reason NATO was founded. It was not. It's obsolete, and we pay way too much into it, and they take advantage of us. So he was really putting them in their place, and. Vladimir Putin is an evil authoritarian man, but at the same time, he's just another world figure you have to deal with, and Trump is trying to deal with him wisely. He's tough on him, but he's trying to work with him if you have to. So I don't think there's that much alarm, or there should be.
Wow.
Haiti, what's your response to that and the whole NATO issue?
You know what? In all honesty, I haven't really been paying attention to it much. I know, but what's funny? I did hear something earlier today that he made some comments about. Was it Scotland? Was it Scotland? I think it was Scotland. Where he was saying that basically, I think he was saying that Scotland was taking the United States approach, and I guess he was saying like it had something to do with the Brexit. But a lot of people.
It was probably the entire country of Britain.
Yeah, but they were saying that most of the people in Scotland rejected that they wanted to stay, but Trump was over there and he was making it seem as if, see everybody here, they jumped on a train, they know they're doing the same thing that we're doing in America. But a lot of people were bringing up the fact that a lot of people in Scotland actually were against Brexit.
Are you talking about what happened like recently or when Brexit actually happened, he did say that.
No, I think he's talking about it. I think he mentioned it recently because they were talking about it today. Like it popped up on a fucking news feed or some shit.
Right, that might be true, but the fact is that Brexit. So this is something I actually do follow. Brexit is in trouble because of Theresa May, who is basically, she's now being labeled like the worst British prime minister of all time, because she's basically saying it's better to be just, screwed in the ass by the European Union with a stupid bad trade deal rather than just leaving. And Trump is basically over there right now while her government is falling apart, and he's meeting with the Queen. So now people are going to try and say, well, the reality is that most of Scotland, which is one of the countries within the UK, voted against Brexit. And I'm like, well, so what? So you had, you could take the state of Virginia, voted for Hillary Clinton, and we still get to tell them to go fuck themselves because, the way the electoral college works, the way the electoral system works, the rules are already agreed upon ahead of time. So therefore, in that case, it's the majority of all votes. It is a popular vote. Where, in the U.S. people are complaining, oh, nobody listens to the popular vote, the majority of people. And now they're saying, well, the Scottish, if you look at Scotland separately, they actually voted to remain in the EU. Well, I thought you guys thought the Electoral College was bullshit and that it should be by popular vote. That's why, when I hear people in the media say that, Trump was not elected by popular vote, it's like, no shit, because we've never used the popular vote in elections. Now you have a case where a country did use the popular vote, and seemingly you still insist on being butthurt. So, I think. Who said that?
The left doesn't care. They just want to get their way. They'll do whatever they have to get it.
Well, there's plenty of so-called conservatives that were against the Brexit. It was they basically don't have a real case because there's no reason why a conservative would want their country to be under the control of a bunch of stuffed shirt like dickheads over in Belgium.
Well, that's a whole different debate. I would have voted to remain.
Yeah, but why?
Because the European Union, even with this migrant crisis, and they've kind of pushed their power a bit too far, I think they have done a lot of good things. The main one, and this is an overall thing, if I recall, this is one of the longest, nonstop periods of peace in Europe.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the European Union.
It is. It's because they've worked together instead of destabilized everything.
You don't think it's because the U.S. was basically, the U.S. military has forces in Germany and in Italy and in a bunch of other EU countries or NATO countries? You don't think that might have had a role to play in it? I mean, the EU takes credit for something that has happened since before it existed.
Sure, it had a role, but again, the EU brought Europe together when they were normally trying to compete with one another.
No, they should compete with each other. I don't think. I mean, why would people in Italy want to have common cause with people in Denmark?
No, I see both sides to this argument, and as time goes on, I lose more and more faith in the EU. But again, it's kind of like a NATO thing. When it started, it was a really good thing because you also had to stand up to communism, for one. But it brought Europe together. It gave them a lot more strength together.
Together at what?
At fighting the communists and, just unifying them.
That was NATO, dude. I don't think the EU had very little role in fighting communism.
It fought it more ideologically. It fought it economically. NATO fought it on the military.
No, but you do realize that the European Union, as it is currently configured, only started in the late 90s. Back then, it was the common market. And the common market was what most people thought was going to be the limit of the whole policy back when it started. That's why the British were even willing to participate. They never wanted to be part of the United States of Europe. And instead, now they're doing the whole thing where, we're going to start making laws for your citizens. It's who gives a shit? 80, let's say, would you want the U.S., Canada, and Mexico to merge together, and then our capital would be somewhere in like Montreal or something, and they'd basically say to you, well, 80, if you have a business, you need to put all of your, signs and advertising in French as well as English. Do you think that that would be an acceptable,
No,
rule for you?
no, but I do want to ask you this. If you go back to like the.
But that was a question for him.
For Wolf?
Yeah.
Would I care if I had to put my shit in French or whatever?
Yeah, literally everything you do has to be translated into French because Quebec is part of the North American Union. Let's say if that happened.
It honestly all depends on to me, it depends on the people in the area. If I don't have French people in the area, then I want to be fucking bothered.
But that's the rule in Canada. It doesn't matter if you're in British Columbia where you have more Chinese people than you have French. You need everything translated into French.
Yeah, I know, but isn't like French like one of the main languages over there?
Yeah, it's the official language of Quebec, but the rest of Canada, like hardly anybody speaks it.
No, I'm saying because look, when you go, the thing is in LA, if you go anywhere, if you go to like, let's say you go to downtown district or whatever, if you go over there, depending on the demographics of the area, that's what you're going to see. So it could be some shit like, oh, David's Place. And then it's also going to be it's also going to be translated. Let's say this Korean. Yeah. It'll have Korean, also Spanish. It'll be in as many languages that are in the area so that people know. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I know in Koreatown, what they did was they would put, in order to keep it Korean, only what they would do is they would put advertisements in Korean on purpose so that they wouldn't attract like other minority groups like African Americans and Hispanics. So they did that to kind of keep K-Town Korean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care if businesses do that, but I'm saying if they required you, doesn't matter, like you live in LA County.
I'm saying if my demographics
and they say
French,
no, you're going to have to put your stuff in French, specifically French. It doesn't matter if there's like maybe 2 people in your entire neighborhood that speak French. You have to keep it translated to French as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's French people in my area, hell yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care. But if there's not French people in my area, there's no French or large French demographic, I would be like, what for? This isn't good for business. It's not gonna do anything beneficial to me unless I'm opening a French restaurant and then I want to look authentic.
Well, that's how the EU functions. That's why the people are like, the EU can go fuck themselves now. People from all over the continent, like I've believed since Brexit happened that Italy would be the next country, and it looks like they're doing it.
But doesn't like would you say that the Europe has like kind of like a free flowing migration between the EU? Like a lot of people kind of float around.
Yeah, and people hate it.
Yeah, but if a lot of people float around and you have, let's just say we're using the translation thing that you mentioned. If a lot of people float around throughout the European Union or whatever, throughout the European countries, wouldn't it be kind of smart to have like your signs in other languages?
Yeah, I think it's an exaggeration that people in the Netherlands would have to post their signs in Greek as well. And there would be no end because if there's 2 countries in Europe, let's say you have Denmark and Portugal. The only common thing they have between them is that they're European. One country is Catholic, the other one's pretty secular, and if there is any Christianity at all, it's Protestant. And I think that people have to recognize that Europe is a very it's a very heterogeneous place. No 2 European countries really do believe in the same principles as one another. There's a lot of very deep variations. Hungarians apparently have a much more conservative Catholic based culture than the Dutch, and it's reflected in their attitude towards immigration. Immigration in Hungary is like they're like, no, I'm not gonna let anybody come in here unless they speak Hungarian. Alex, what were you gonna say before? I think we should close because it is getting a little late.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just saying no. Like no one should be forced to again, the EU has a lot of overreach that needs to be renegotiated. I like the idea of keeping Europe unified under one common, like, almost nation type thing. And two, I really like how they're bailing out Greece, but at the same time forcing them to be held accountable for being stupid. So.
No, but they created the whole Greek crisis. You do
No,
realize that.
Greece created the whole Greek crisis, not the EU.
What?
Greece created the whole Greek crisis. We were idiots, not the EU.
Yeah, because Germany was willing to feed them all that money in loans, and then, when
And
finally they realized that the
Greek
Greek
what? They had a socialist leader in the 80s named Andreas Papandreou who would take all this money that the EU, they weren't even in the EU at the time. They would just take all this money from Europe and they would give it out to people and buy votes with it. That's what socialism does. That's why I hate it so much.
No, but that's the attitude of the European Union. They believe in this whole thing where, you use loans as sort of a collateral to control countries. That's the same thing I criticize with what China's doing in Venezuela. It's the same thing I criticize when the U.S. has too much control over other countries' foreign policies. I think that these countries, whether it's the EU forcing countries like Greece to adhere to these measures, if Greece wants to go bankrupt, I personally could care less. But the Germans and all these other EU countries, they said, well, we want more and more European countries to become part of the EU. And eventually they want Turkey to come in as well, which I think would be also a big mistake. Probably a much bigger mistake than when they let, Romania and all these Eastern European countries in. It's like, no, the European Union, when it was just about markets, was kind of an interesting idea. And now it's become basically like putting your hand up the ass of every single person between, Ireland and Russia. It's like,
Right.
Just mind your own business and people will be fine.
Well, again, as I said earlier, it's in need of reform, but it's not. I don't think it's fundamentally bad.
All right.
I think a lot of ideas behind it are good.
Yeah,
it wasn't Alex Jones have like a theory about the fucking America making some stupid union and they were going to form their currency together and call it the Amero?
That's not just Alex Jones, but yeah, I think he does believe in that.
Wait, that was fake news?
What?
No, I'm joking.
I was about to say, dude, I was like, that was a while ago before Alex Jones even got mainstream. The
idea of having a North American Union would not happen overnight, and NAFTA is part of it, and that's one of the reasons that America and that's one of the reasons that Trump got elected, because of NAFTA, because of the adverse labor results of free trade as it was practiced under NAFTA, which is it's not free trade as libertarians actually believe in it. A lot of libertarians kind of like jump into the fucking fire pit and say, oh, free trade until I'm fucking dead and homeless. I don't give a fuck. And then in reality, people can't even find a job anywhere in parts of Arkansas and even in like Gary, Indiana used to be a factory town. There's nothing there except for basically, crack and probably a bunch of, amazing savings stores. So, that's one of the reasons that Trump got elected. That's by the way, that's also the reason that Mexico just elected a far left president, because of things like NAFTA. So, if the same attitude was allowed to take its logical course, I think America, Canada, and Mexico would be united in sort of a much closer union. Maybe not as close as the EU, but given enough time, that could happen.
Well, yeah, the trade is tricky because it's like, I've always been a free trade advocate. It grows economic output, but at this point, I've just sat back and said, let's see what Trump can accomplish. Because, like, if he can do this without screwing the economy, he'll be a genius.
All right, I think we're going to wrap up. We talked a lot today about the Lakers and about abortions and about LaShawn McCoy, as well as the European Union. And what else did we talk about? Joy Behar. And I think ultimately we've seen three different attitudes here, and I'm glad, of course, Alex is back from Guatemala. And, you know, number 80, it could be said that you're almost, you basically live in Guatemala. Very soon your city will become Guatemala, buddy. So
Nice.
I guess you guys have a lot more in common than you think.
You know, Alex is an MS-13 member.
Yes, sir. And he hides
He
those
told me
tattoos
it was
under
out
that
there.
MAGA hat.
I'm telling you, bro, I got insider information.
I'm 18th Street, not MS-13, man.
Oh wow, check him out. That's a little spooky.
No, I'm joking.
A little spooky over here.
All right.
Now, hey man, but
I shouldn't say that on the live video. They'll come.
You should tell your. I know, man. They're gonna put you in a fucking barrel. But nah. But don't believe the lies. Don't believe the lies about how fucking huge MS-13. Like basically, how they're pushing that whole thing that they're like this really big gang, and it's like, oh, we're like every tweet that you hear from Trump, we're getting rid of them day in and day out.
Have you not read Pedro's writing?
Who?
Pedro.
Dude, I don't. The dude, look, I blocked the guy because the guy does not know how to fucking. He doesn't know how to take a fucking opinion, bro. Like, I told him, look, man, let's just agree to disagree. And the dude kept fucking talking and blowing up my fucking my messenger, bro. So I had to block the guy. He was acting like a fucking female in heat.
Yeah, I've been trying to get. I got in touch with Pedro. If we're talking about the same Pedro from San Diego.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like him.
And I was trying to get him to cover a story that I've been working on, but I don't think that, you know, Trump highlights the MS-13 part, but it's not the only gang that is being dealt with by ICE and other authorities. It's just, you know, MS-13 is an easily, you know, it's easy to just shoot out the name MS-13. You know, there's other gangs that are, of course, you know, like La M, for example, which are not, a lot of those people are born. Gang. Yeah, they're born. A lot of those people are born here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't deport those people.
That's a prison gang, though.
That's a prison gang, but they have operations outside of prison. So
not really. I mean, they got reach outside of prison, but at the same time, look, you know what that is, right? Basically, what it is once all the Hispanic gangs in LA hit prison, they can't fight amongst each other no more, and they fall under that. That's essentially what it is. But the thing is like, I honestly think that they needed a boogeyman. They needed something big, something bad, something scary. So they ran with MS-13, and that's just the way I look at it.
Pretty evil, though, to be fair.
I mean, all gangs are, but at the same, like, have you heard of fucking the fuck is the Zopound?
No, I haven't.
Exactly, Zopound is like they do some crazy shit. Like,
okay, so let me ask AD a question, and then we'll close. Do you think that it's a good idea to let, you know, let's not just talk specifically about MS-13, but illegal alien gangs to remain here in the country?
Of course not.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good idea to deal with them in the way that Mr. Trump has.
Look, I'm not disputing that, man. But all I'm trying to say is, I think he is disguising most of this bust as, okay, we're mostly targeting gang members, right? But I think there's a lot of other people that are being pushed out with them.
No, those people can get fucked too. I mean, why should I care?
Go ahead, Alex, tune in, because I know you have a newfound mentality. Go ahead and let Mr. Ramon know how you feeling.
We got Alex has always been pro-immigration. Let's hear it. Go ahead.
Here for a minute. We need a way. Look, a lot of these people actually do want to work hard, and they want to contribute to our society. And they view their countries as assholes, as President Trump said. So they actually want to come to America and find opportunity here. What we really need with immigration is a solution that gives compassion to the people who will be productive members of our society, and a solution that goes down hard on people who are MS-13 and other criminals. And we should also build the wall. That's what I would say.
The razor.
That doesn't make any sense, either of you guys. I mean, if that's your attitude, then wow. I mean, then Guatemala will always be kind of a dump anyway, because you're just going to have the more whether it's the poorer people or the middle class or you know, some of the upper class, those people are going to move to the U.S. because they'll be like, why would I try to make things better in, you know, El Salvador?
That's not really the case, though, because Like, okay, so Guatemala is like, it's reminiscent of a socialist country. So basically, you have like the ruling class of elites in the city, and then everybody else is like dirt poor, whether you're hardworking or not. And more than that, almost everybody's forced to be hardworking. So like, the ones that like come to the U.S. will come to the U.S. The ones who don't, they can stay there and make their country a better place. It's just not
I
right.
think I have to, I'm not the most, I mean, AD knows me. I'm not a defender of socialism. I wouldn't call Guatemala a socialist country by any stretch of the imagination.
It's not like Venezuela, but it's like a bigger government and a bunch of bureaucratic corruption. So,
but there's no big businesses in Guatemala. I wouldn't say that this whole argument that we have to. I mean, all these other countries that are not as good as America, their solution should be to try to be as good as America. It's not or try to be maybe better than us. But instead, you're saying, oh, there's all these poor people from fucking, Tijuana or Peru,
Tijuana,
whatever. It doesn't matter. Like
TJ, you could have just said Mexico, bro.
Who cares? Like if you want your country or your city to be better, then you're complaining about it, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna move to, Kansas City. Then your city is still gonna remain a dump.
But it's look, from my understanding, I knew
one person at a time.
From my understanding, I had this teacher I used to work that used to work at my job. His family, and they all came from Salvador, right? From my understanding is that Salvador has a few families, like families within the country that have most of the wealth. And the teacher that I worked with, apparently his fucking family was one of them because they own like some really big like manufacturing company. I don't know. They manufactured something. I want to say rice or some bullshit. I don't remember. They manufactured something. It was a food. And what he ended up doing was or was it coffee? I don't remember. He manufactured something. And he ended up leaving there and taking over the business. But over there, he lives like a fucking king. And then from my understanding, there's only certain families over there with money. Now, if you're just shit out of luck and born outside of that family, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to sit here, you're going to struggle. There's not much you're going to do if that wealth just remains inside of those bubbles. So it's like, it's either, am I going to stay here and starve, become a gang member, do some illegal shit to get money? Or am I just going to go over here and actually try to give myself an opportunity where I can make money in a legal manner without risking a serious jail time?
Yeah, what you just said is the same thing. I have a friend from Lebanon, and he describes the same exact phenomenon. And the difference is that the guy from Lebanon and the majority of immigrants from Lebanon come here legally, and the majority of immigrants from El Salvador don't. So the people have to they have to get behind the foreign policy of telling these countries, we're not going to take your poor people just because you are basically too head up your ass to deal with them. If what it takes is, and by the way, Mike Pence went to a meeting with the president of El Salvador and 4 or 5 other Central American countries, and he said, hey, go fuck yourselves. Why are you consistently just letting your people, basically live in squalor, and then they have to come over here? He didn't say it in so many words. I'm sure he would have said it like I would if he was not a hardcore Christian that looks like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. But, not everybody can have my way with words. But then again, he is the vice president, and I happen to be just some dude with, a camera and, a bookshelf.
With Allen Iverson in the background.
Yeah, Allen Iverson, right? That's not Allen Iverson. Okay. Last word from either of you. Only one person can give a last word because it is kind of late.
What is this, a fucking dictatorship? Come on, man.
Yeah, this is El Salvador rules, buddy. We're going, full on, pendejo.
Well, if that's the case, then you might as well just let people come over here if it's a dictatorship like that. Hey, but you know what? You did say something in one of your last streams that actually was true about how they have renegade groups actually killing these gang members. I remember my friend's dad was telling me about this this group called like the Black Shadow, like El Sombre Negro or something, and how they were just like a bunch of like ex-military, ex-cops, and they'll just run around and like exterminate people. And they were saying that it got to the point where gang members in El Salvador were so scared of these dudes that they would like remove their tattoos and shit.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that's not really our problem. You know, a lot of countries have that.
It's not our problem yet. But there is no 18th Street in El Salvador, brother, but there is one downtown LA.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want, so therefore, would you say, and I'm not saying, I'm not putting words in your mouth, I'm just proposing this. Like if they gave you or Alex a license to basically, you know, go downtown with a shotgun and shoot a gang member that you see, and they said, well, basically we'll look at the other way and we'll consider this not a murder, would you say that would be an acceptable solution to that? If we implement the same solution as in El Salvador?
No, I was just saying, me personally, I would take the Bunchy Carter approach, but that's just me.
Bunchy Carter, was that from that movie with Denzel Washington?
It sounds like a movie, but it's an actual person. He was hey, wait for it. He was a member of the what party, Ramon? What party was he in? You can say it. Say it with me. The Black Panther Party. Yeah.
No, okay, so fine. So do you think that that's the way to deal with it? I mean, it's a serious question.
No, I'm dead serious. No. What Bunchy Carter did was he ended up uniting the gangs that were in LA at the time. So you had like weird ass names like the Warriors, the Gladiators, like the Renegades and shit, the Slaussons, and he actually got them to come down, to put their guns down, and to come down to these rec centers, not to the Black Panther headquarters that was right here on I think it was 41st and Central, and he actually stopped a lot of the gang activity in the area and had them actually doing more productive things. Fast forward, we're in 2018. There's actually a what the hell is it called? Big Homie or something. There's a place downtown that's ran by a Catholic. I think he's Catholic or Christian. I don't remember, but he sells chips, and I know it's funny, but he has like his own brand of chips. Hold on, let me big Homie or Big Brother or some shit like that. But what he did was he started a group for gang members that go in and they find employment, and he gets tattoos and everything removed, and he does like a lot of stuff. Hold on, let me find the name real quick. Remember I was telling you about it? Alex, kill some time real quick while I find the name of this. Hold up.
It's called Homeboy Industries.
Homeboy Industries. There you go. All right. So so this guy went and he did like all this great work, and he has a big building downtown where gang members go when they're ready to like, you know, leave the gang life, and he hooks them up with jobs. And they work in like a cafe, and they have like all this cool things going on. I wouldn't say go around and just shoot these people. Like that's fucking stupid because they're already doing that. And obviously that's not the answer. So, because they're just going to keep doing the same shit over and over, you have to cut the cycle. So if we have more programs like that and more people like Bunchy Carter, who was killed probably by the FBI as well too, but we're not going to go into that tonight. But
well, you will have to prove that one. I mean, because you know, I'm no fan of the FBI, but I mean, come on.
No, well, I mean, is it really hard to? Come on, bro. Who killed Fred Hampton? It wasn't a Black Panther Party. It wasn't no other fucking organization, you know? And then people that were at the night that Bunchy Carter got killed, both sides said that that they didn't shoot, that it wasn't them, you know? So
no, I mean, Malcolm X was killed by people who I believe two of them were apparently FBI informants, but that does not mean that the FBI literally killed them. You know, it means that the FBI had informants who were also dirty, like criminals. You know, that's who becomes an informant. I mean, what are you going to do? So we also have informants in the mafia. Does that mean the FBI runs the mafia? I mean, it's you know, the FBI is full of sleaze. I'm not going to tell you that the FBI is clean, but you know,
what happened to the two dudes that shot Malcolm?
I think a couple of them did serve. They did serve kind of a smaller sentence than for first-degree murder. I think they get one of them was like convicted of manslaughter. I don't remember, and I believe that one of them was actually convicted of a different crime. We could revisit that at a different time, or we could probably talk about it offline. I don't know if we need to talk about it on the air because it's like a subject of its own. But
all I'm saying is that kind of proves it right there. If they told him like, "Hey man, look, go ahead and